Let's have a look at what Nicola Sturgeon's got to say about transphobia in the SNP.
Over the course of the day, I've heard reports of mainly young people in significant numbers leaving the SNP. I know many of you personally. I consider you friends. I've campaigned alongside you. You're a credit to our party and our country. It grieves me deeply that you've reached this conclusion after much soul-searching, because you consider at this stage the SNP not to be a safe, tolerant or welcoming place for trans people. That's not acceptable to me.
Well, Nicola, you reap what you sow. The SNP has been using the school system to indoctrinate young people into hardline transgender ideology, in fact encouraging them basically to be transgender activists, and now you're facing the consequences.
Yes, we have differences of opinion on gender recognition reform. We should debate them openly and respectfully, but no debate can be a cover for transphobia.
See, these young people have been taught in your schools that you are what you think you are. If you feel you're a certain gender, then you are. That is absolute fact. Now, the SNP has not quite kept up with this philosophy. It almost has, but there's just one slight chink in its armour, and that's that there's a bit of dispute about the Gender Recognition Act. Now, just to clarify, the opposition to the Gender Recognition Act within the SNP, it's not from social conservatives. It's not from people really questioning transgender ideology. It's mainly from feminists who make some good points about protecting women, but also a big part of their argument is that women are oppressed, and they're not having men joining in women and thinking they're oppressed as well. And that's their objection to transgenderism. But at the next election, with a lot of the older SNP MSPs standing down, I think the game will be over and the Gender Recognition Act will pass easily.
Trans people have as much right as any of us to be safe, secure and valued for who they are. Transphobia is wrong and we must treat it with the zero tolerance we treat racism or homophobia.
So safe? I mean, who disagrees? There's anyone who thinks transgender people shouldn't be safe. But what does Nicola Sturgeon mean by safe? She probably means unchallenged or maybe even affirmed. Again, secure, what does she mean by that? She probably means unchallenged and affirmed as well. Transgender people should be valued for who they are. What, you mean human beings? No, she doesn't mean that. Again, she probably means affirmed, treated as the gender that they think they are. In other words, everyone has to join in denying the sex that they really are, have to value people's transgender identity. Now again, Nicola Sturgeon talks about transphobia, but what does she mean by it? When I hear transphobia, I think someone being beaten up in the street, say. What does Nicola Sturgeon mean? I mean, that's not what's happening in the SNP, is it? She probably means, again, being disagreed with. Now, this strategy of Nicola Sturgeon works. She comes out with these fine-sounding platitudes. They don't stand up to scrutiny. They're really vague, but the strategy works because they don't need to stand up to scrutiny, because there isn't any scrutiny. She'll never be challenged on this in the Parliament or in the media. So, carrying on with the same theme of these fine-sounding platitudes, let's hear Nicola Sturgeon's concluding words. Now, let's remember, this is the Nicola Sturgeon who rejoices in the killing of unborn children. Now, you may be thinking, that's not fair. She doesn't rejoice in the killing of unborn children. When abortion was introduced in the Republic of Ireland, Nicola Sturgeon said she felt joyful about that, joyful that the killing of unborn children was going to be allowed in the Republic of Ireland. Therefore, Nicola Sturgeon rejoices in the killing of unborn children. So let's hear her parting shot.
Sometimes, particularly as a leader, it's vital to speak up for what is right and against injustice.
Do you dream of hearing Nicola Sturgeon challenged on this sort of point in the Parliament? Well, if you want to see that happen, you need to support the Scottish Family Party.